All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our certified teacher candidate presentation this evening. We are going to go ahead and get started. We thank you so much for joining us tonight and taking some time to learn a little bit more about New York City Public Schools with us. My name is Catherine, and I am one of the facilitators here this evening. I am currently a New York City Public Schools teacher in my 14th year in the classroom. I teach science in a middle school on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. So I'm always excited to talk with people who are interested in joining us as colleagues. So I thank you again for taking some time out this evening to join us for our presentation. So with that, we will go ahead and get started. And before we begin, a couple kind of announcements and logistics for you. This is a webinar format, so you won't be able to unmute or turn your camera on, but we do have the Q&A feature. You'll see it in the toolbar of GoToWebinar, and we invite you to submit feedback or questions throughout the presentation, and we will do our very best to answer those as they come in. You will receive a recording of this webinar after it's over, so please just check your email. You should get that in the next day or two. You're welcome to take notes if you'd like, but we will send the recording after. And there will be some QR codes embedded in the slides throughout the presentation this evening. So if you have a camera or a device that you would like to have available so you can access those, you may want to have that nearby. And with that, we will go ahead and get started. And as we begin, we want to highlight and showcase our website, which is at teachnyc.net. It's just been redesigned, and we're really excited about all the features that are there. So I would definitely jot this down, the teachnyc.net website. It's really going to be your ultimate resource for all things related to teaching in New York City Public Schools. As we mentioned, it's kind of brand new, so definitely check it out if you haven't been there in a while. And if it's new for you, then definitely take some time because there's a lot of really great information available to you there. All right, so here is a short agenda of what we are going to cover this evening. We are going to give an overview of New York City Public Schools. We'll go through the application process. We'll talk a bit about job search, and then we'll leave some time for questions at the end. Our goal tonight is for you to walk away with an understanding of how you can start the process to begin your teaching career at New York City Public Schools. As I mentioned earlier, if you do have questions throughout the presentation, please just type those into the Q&A box that you can find on the control panel of GoToWebinar, and we will do our very best to answer them. One last note as we get started is the sooner that you apply, the sooner you'll be able to gain access to our new teacher finder, which is the portal where we have available positions, networking events, principal panels, and the job search guide. So we do encourage you, if you haven't started your application yet, to definitely consider doing so, because it'll just give you more opportunities to find a job that is a great fit for you. All right, so let's go ahead and begin with an overview of New York City Public Schools. So here we see Kamar Samuels. He's the new chancellor of New York City Public Schools. And here we have a quote from him. He says, "As a lifelong educator who has served our system as a teacher, principal, and superintendent, and as the parent of 2 New York City Public Schools students, I know firsthand that our schools are the heart of our communities. I believe that our students from early childhood through graduation deserve schools that are safe, academically rigorous, and truly integrated. They should know that their children are learning the fundamentals, starting with reading, and are being challenged academically, guided by high expectations, strong instruction, and teachers who believe in them." As I mentioned, he is new to leading New York City Public Schools, but I have personally worked in the district he was the superintendent of. So I know that these are things he really does truly believe in, and we are excited to see how he can expand those things across the entire, all 5 boroughs. All right, so now a little bit more information about New York City Public Schools. This is the largest, most dynamic district in the entire nation. We have over 900,000 students who speak over 180 languages. We have a network of 77,000 fellow teachers. New York City educators have the unique privilege and responsibility to jumpstart the next generation of innovators, leaders, and citizens. New York City Public School students represent a wide range of backgrounds, identities, languages, and learning needs. They need teachers who reflect their diversity and are ready and able to support their learning. Whatever your background, experiences, and skill sets are, there are students in New York City Public Schools classrooms who are waiting for a teacher like you. We have over 1,600 schools that are as diverse as our students and the distinctive neighborhoods that we serve. We have neighborhood schools that have deep roots in their local communities. We have small thematic schools in the performing arts. We also have schools that have a focus in STEAM, humanities, and we also have dual language schools. So whatever your interests or passions are, there is a school for you. You can choose a school that fits your teaching philosophy and engage with a community of like-minded professionals. And within our schools, teachers work to build connections with their students. Okay, so this is a great time to be considering joining us in New York City Public Schools because New York State has a class size law that has just been passed. And that means there's many more opportunities for educators in New York City. We're hiring thousands of additional teachers this year to ensure that our classrooms citywide are in compliance with this new law. New York City Public Schools is always growing with new schools opening each year. For example, this fall, we anticipate we'll have 7 new schools opening. So New York City Public Schools is dedicated to attracting and retaining the very best teachers for our schools. We're looking for passionate, collaborative, and committed teachers who reflect the incredible diversity of the student body that we serve. When we talk about passionate teachers, we're talking about a team of exceptional educators who are passionate about educating urban students, truly believing in the power education can make in a student's life. When we speak about collaborative teachers, we're talking about teachers who thrive on constant learning and collaboration with their colleagues. And when we talk about committed teachers, we're talking about teachers who are willing to go above and beyond for their students, understanding that their students' challenges and embracing their potential. As we mentioned earlier, we are also committed to a diverse workforce, and we're seeking teachers who are as diverse as our students. Okay, so a teacher's impact extends well beyond the classroom. Teachers impact student achievement 2 to 3 times more than any other aspect of schooling. Among school-related factors, studies show that teachers matter most. When it comes to student performance on reading and math tests, teachers have 2 to 3 times the effect of any other school factor, including services, facilities, and even school leadership. Research has shown that a teacher's impact on their own class has what they call spillover effects for the entire school. When you make an impact on students within your classroom, those students then go on to raise the level of achievement in their future classes. In a given school year, a teacher can make a huge impact on the students in their class. Students who can read proficiently by the end of 3rd grade are significantly less likely to drop out of high school. Graduating from high school is associated with major life benefits, including increased wealth, health, and the likelihood of employment. So what are some of the major benefits of a career at New York City Public Schools? You get to make a difference in the lives of your fellow New Yorkers and maybe even those in your own local community. You're focusing on building a better future, and you're using your skills to help develop the nation's next leaders, innovators, and educators. And you also get to build relationships with colleagues who are dedicated to this shared goal. You're joining a robust network of over 70,000 fellow teachers. Here we see 2 of our New York City Public Schools teachers. On the left, we have Sergio, who tells us that if you're here, it's because you are passionate about education and helping students learn in the most diverse city in the world. And on the right, we see Charlene, who shares that working and living in New York City affords you a range of opportunities that you don't see elsewhere. All right, so now we are going to watch a brief video clip from someone who works in New York City Public Schools. Ohasi is going to share with us a little bit about why she chose to become a teacher.
I've always wanted to work with kids. My bachelor's degree was in psychology and sociology. I decided that instead of going that route, I wanted to pursue my education master's and start teaching. What's beautiful about teaching now is that we are all in this together. We all work together. We all collaborate together. I'm here to facilitate. I'm not here to lecture them for the entire period. They get to experience learning with each other. They get to experience making mistakes and learning from their mistakes. They get to experience exploring. Go for it. Being a teacher is like no other career. It's just so amazing how you can come into a building and work with a group of kids. You're shaping the future. Working in the community that I grew up has made me the person that I am today. I know the world better, and that's because I am a teacher, and I work at PS 178, and I work in New York City, and I work in Washington Heights, and I love it.
All right, so a very inspiring video by one of our teachers, who you may hear from a bit later as well. All right, so now we're going to jump into a little bit about salary and benefits. So here you see some of those numbers on your screen. So on September 14th, 2026, salaries will start at $71,314 for bachelor's and no experience, and $80,166 if you're someone with a master's and no experience. Teachers' starting salaries vary based on education and experience. You can also earn additional compensation for teaching after school or summer school programs and for teaching in demanding environments. The Office of Teacher Recruitment and Quality is unable to predict what your starting salary will be based on your experience and educational attainment, regardless of the teaching pathway that you choose. You, however, can estimate your starting salary by visiting the United Federation of Teachers salary schedule, which you can scan the QR code on your screen to access. This salary schedule will outline opportunities for increases based on your previous teaching experience, longevity at New York City Public Schools, and educational credits. All teachers begin at the same base salary and then apply for salary steps and salary differentials using the salary application system after they begin teaching. If you are eligible for a higher salary due to experience or educational attainment, you must apply for a salary step when you begin teaching full-time at New York City Public Schools. You may not apply before then. If you are someone who's a paraprofessional, your years of service do not count towards teaching salary steps. If you are a full-time substitute teacher, your experience does count as full-time teaching, but you will need to provide documentation and proof of your full-time work. All right, so this slide looks ahead at what your salary would be in the future at New York City Public Schools. So if you're currently in your 8th year of teaching with your master's plus your 30 credits and professional development courses, you would be earning $103,291. If you're someone who has 15 years of experience teaching at New York City Public Schools and your master's degree plus your 30 credits and professional development courses, you would be earning $123,939. Remember, this is all information that you can find using the pay scale for the 2025 school season. So these rates are subject to increase with the yearly raises that are negotiated by the United Federations of Teachers contract. If you are interested in learning more about salaries in New York City Public Schools, there's 3 additional resources that you can scan QR codes for here on your screen. On the left, we have resources from the union, which is the United Federation of Teachers. In the center, we have resources from New York City Public Schools. And then on the right, if you are interested in learning more, there is a recording of a webinar that is specific to salary. So I'll give you a moment to scan any of those QR codes if you are interested, and then we will move forward. All right, so in addition to our competitive salaries, we do offer a robust benefits package. We offer comprehensive health insurance plans that include dental, vision, and prescription drugs. And some of these plans require no employee contributions. There are annual retention bonuses, which are prorated during your first year and increase each year. There's membership with the United Federation of Teachers, enrollment in a pension plan, and New York City Public Schools employees are eligible for many additional benefits, including commuter benefits, college savings programs, and employee discounts. There's also exciting loan forgiveness programs that you could be eligible for as a New York City Public Schools teacher. New York City Public Schools employees may also be eligible for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. This program forgives the remaining balance on your direct loans after you've made the equivalent of 120 qualifying monthly payments under an accepted repayment plan and while working full-time for an eligible employer. So if you're interested in this program and learning more about it, you can scan the QR code that you see here on the screen. Right, so new teachers in New York City hit the ground running with professional resources and learning opportunities that are tailored just for them, in addition to the many career development opportunities that are available to all teachers. We offer robust supports for our new teachers in person, online, and in community settings. Is New Teacher Week, which is an annual event where new teachers can get inspiration from special guest speakers, learn about key policies, engage with the United Federation of Teachers, and network with other new teachers. We also have school-based mentoring. So new hires with an initial or a transitional B license are assigned an experienced and trained mentor teacher in their school to support their professional growth throughout their first year. We also have the First Class newsletter, which is a monthly digital bulletin for first-year teachers that spotlights vetted resources, teaching tips, and answers to common new teacher questions. Teachers in New York City Public Schools, no matter where they are in their careers, also have access to professional development opportunities at their schools, including coaching, professional development days, and after-school learning opportunities. In addition to school-based supports, optional development opportunities are made available by various teams, including New York City Public Schools offices and the United Federation of Teachers. We do also offer digital resources for busy teachers to find resources for their classroom and regularly stay connected to opportunities to extend their learning and their impact. All right, so here we are going to watch a brief video clip from Victoria and her mentor, David. They'll talk a little bit more about their mentor-mentee relationship.
I was fortunate that my principal let me become her mentor. I feel it makes teaching even more enjoyable because you're responsible to hear out your mentees' ideas, and we get to learn from each other, like our different teaching styles.
Being open to feedback, because at the end of the day, your mentor wants you to be a better teacher. They're not trying to criticize you.
To be a new teacher coming to New York City, it can be intimidating, and to know that you're going to have someone within your academic subject area to support you is something that I think everyone should know that is offered from New York City.
We have a lot of phys ed teachers that were able to collaborate, we're able to share ideas to make the experience better for the students. Some students are individual and some do have different triggers. It's nice to ask a veteran teacher, you had this student for 3 years, what did you do that helped this student?
Other people have the same issues. It's not just you. You're not alone on an island. Like, other people are experiencing the same thing, veteran teachers, rookie teachers.
We're very fortunate here, and being able to just bounce ideas off and learn from what other people are doing is just so great.
All right, amazing. So in addition to the mentor-mentee relationships that we have in our schools, there are also teacher leader opportunities. So teacher leaders have responsibilities in their school buildings that include leading laboratory classrooms, facilitating professional collaborations, coaching peers and colleagues, and advocating in leadership conversations. So if you are interested in learning about these opportunities or getting more information, you are welcome to scan the QR here on your screen. Right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about the early childhood education opportunities that exist in New York City public schools. Okay, so here we are going to talk about two specific initiatives, which are 3K and pre-K. Studies do show that children who are enrolled in quality early childhood programs are better prepared academically, socially, and emotionally to succeed in elementary school and beyond. This is why New York City Public Schools has made it a priority over the last several years to provide high quality early childhood programs for all New Yorkers. With that goal in mind, we have our pre-K initiative that is currently servicing all 32 districts and supporting about 40,000 schools across the 40,000 students across the 5 boroughs. Early childhood teacher candidates can work in one of 4 early childhood settings in New York City. We have district schools, pre-K centers, charter schools, and community-based organizations, which are known as CBOs. You can see these 4 different settings represented in the map on the screen. This map is also accessible at My Schools, which is a free online resource for all prospective educators. The different settings that you see on the screen are represented by different colored hands. So if you look at the map, we have the district schools in light blue. We have charter schools in green. Okay. Our New York City community-based organizations are in yellow, and our pre-K centers are in dark blue. So if you do look at the map, you'll notice that the vast majority of opportunities in the early childhood space are in our New York City community-based organizations. So we will talk a bit more about what those organizations are like and why you might consider working in one. CBOs are independent community-based organizations that contract with New York City Public Schools to provide free early childhood programs. As a teacher candidate, it's important to understand the benefits of CBOs in order to maximize your job search and potential to secure a teaching position. One thing that does set CBOs apart is that they're 100% focused on early childhood education. Because of this, all the activities, the classroom layout, the professional development that's provided, the selection of educators, the family and community program that is planned are all done with young children in mind. They're also known for their small size and family feel and for their connection to their communities. So this allows for a more supportive environment that's really valuable to a new teacher and allows you to establish and build strong relationships with the families and communities right from the start. Because there are so many CBOs across the city, they really do vary in their size, their location, and their mission. Some of these organizations are run by nonprofits and community-based organizations. Others are nursery schools or daycare centers. This allows you as the candidate to tailor your job search and find a position that meets your educational philosophy and your teaching needs, whether those are based on geography or position. CBOs are the only opportunity through New York City Public Schools to be a lead teacher without yet having your New York State certification. The not yet certified positions may be of interest to some of you that might not be certified by the start of next school year, but are interested in getting classroom teaching experience and earning a salary now. All right, so if we look at this map again, all of those yellow hands are CBOs. Every year we do see that the vast majority of hiring is happening in this setting, and we do expect that trend to continue. If you're someone who's already certified in early childhood, be sure to say yes to CBOs on your teacher application so that hundreds of hiring managers can have access to your resume and you can view positions on the early childhood job board and really maximize your job search opportunities. All right, so there are many different opportunities for early childhood educators. The left shows all of the opportunities for certified teachers. If you are certified or you're on track to be certified by September of 2026, we do recommend completing the New York City Public Schools teacher application on teachnyc.net as soon as possible. When you complete the application, you can then select whether you would be interested in teaching at a CBO. Saying yes to CBOs will greatly increase your job prospects. And if there's anyone who is not going to be certified by September of 2026, but you are interested in teaching early childhood, we would recommend that you complete the Early Childhood Teacher Finder when it launches. With this, you have the opportunity to teach in CBOs as a lead teacher on a study plan, which allows you to teach full-time and earn a salary while completing your certification requirements. For more information, you can scan the QR code that you see here on the screen. All right. And with that, I'm going to pass this to my colleague, Ohasi, who's going to talk with us about the application process.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Catherine. So my name is Ohasi Feliz, and I have been teaching since, wow, it's been a while, 1998. I currently teach 5th grade, and I am a dual language teacher. Okay, so we are going to talk about the application process. So New York State teacher certification is a requirement for a permanent teaching position at a New York City public school. Most of our applicants have already earned their certification or will have it by the time they plan to begin full-time teaching. If you are in a teacher preparation program or hold a teaching certificate in another state, you must apply for New York State certification at NYCPS.gov. You should submit your New York City teacher application while you are completing your certification requirements or while you are waiting for your certification. You do not need to wait until you're certified in order to apply. There are a few unique teaching opportunities if you aren't yet certified, which we'll talk about on the next few slides before getting into the application process. If you are at a certain point in your schooling, you may have an opportunity to obtain an internship certificate. The internship certificate is a year certificate available to students who have completed at least 50% of an approved New York State graduate program leading to an initial certificate. An internship certificate helps to meet immediate need across New York City. Obtain hands-on teaching experience while completing your degree and initial certificate requirements and begin earning a full-time teaching salary while you're still in school. For those that are interested, you must complete the New York City Public Schools teacher application and upload an internship eligibility letter, which is found on our website. And as you can see in the slide, so what is the internship certification opportunities? Well, it's a 2-year certificate. It's available to students who have completed at least half of an approved New York State graduate program leading to an initial certificate. And it's designed to help meet immediate needs across New York City. You can obtain hands-on teaching experience while you're completing your degree and initial certificate requirements. And you can begin earning a full-time teaching salary while you're still at school. And again, you must complete the New York City Public Schools teacher application and upload the letter from your university about your internship certification eligibility as your certification documentation. Okay, so everyone who is interested in teaching for the upcoming school year must complete the New York City teacher application on teachnyc.net. When applying to teach in the New York City public schools, you should think of several important action steps. The action steps are not necessarily listed in order since you can submit your New York City teacher application without being officially certified. Oftentimes, teacher candidates want to know, should I wait to be certified before I apply? All teacher candidates should absolutely apply before their certification is issued. So do not wait. Applying before you are certified is recommended and actually expected. Do not wait until after your certification comes through to apply. This could delay your potential employment with New York City Public Schools. You'll get your teacher certification through New York State Education Department. It's important to note that the New York State Education Department is a separate entity from the New York City Public School System. NYSED is the main entity that issues the certifications. In short, if New York State Education Department says that you are certified, then you are ready to be hired under your certification. Make sure that you are working closely with your college or university certification office to ensure that you complete all certification requirements. Certifications are now issued on a rolling basis, so the faster that you are certified, the easier it is for you to get hired. The first steps that we will cover in the coming slides will be completing the common profile and the New York City Public Schools teacher application. We want to share some stats from this past hiring season. So in 2025, close to 30% of all applications were started before March. Over 40% of hires were completed before July 15th. An average of 8 days between application start and submission. Average of 83 days between application submission and hire date. So please submit your application as soon as possible. This is a screenshot of teachnyc.net, where you'll go to apply. Once you get to teachnyc.net, click Apply Today. It will show a drop down for all of the different applications. For the teacher application, select Certified Teacher Application. For those that will be certified in early childhood and are interested in CBOs, select the CBO application. It's currently closed, but you can express interest in it. Before you start your application, check out the teacher application guide, which will walk you through the process. You can find the guide by going to our homepage and scrolling past the application information. The guide shares information on preparing your New York City teacher applications. This includes how to create an account, completing your common profile, tips and notes, and frequently asked questions. It also introduces you to our online support center. And please thoroughly review this document before starting your application. And there is the QR code if you need to scan it. If you are a new user to the New York City teacher application, you will need to select New User. If you used the teacher application in a previous year, you can use your previous login information in order to gain access to the system. If for any reason you can't remember your previous login information or are not sure if you have been in our system in the past, just select Not Sure. Here is what the account registration page looks like. You will have to complete all of the required information and register your account before you can move on to the next steps of the application portal. This is a secure government website, so your personal information is protected. You must fill in all of the required fields, such as your email, social security, and password. And here is an example of the icons and required fields that you will need to complete on your application. As a note, there are two different parts to the application. One part is to complete the New York City Public Schools profile, and the second part is the teacher application. You must complete both sections in order to complete your application. Here are some of the sections you'll have to complete as part of your profile. Account information and work eligibility. This step asks for basic contact information and a few questions regarding work eligibility. To be eligible to work in New York City, you must meet citizenship and/or residency requirements. You must complete all parts of the eligibility question, especially if you answered yes to the work authorization status, and indicate your specific work authorization status. Please note, if you do not disclose the work authorization status, your application will not be able to move forward. Education. Teacher applicants must enter their education history for both high school and post-secondary education. Candidates holding advanced or multiple degrees must first enter undergraduate degree information before entering any additional advanced degrees. Experience and references. The work experience information entered in this section can be used to help inform the starting salary of teacher candidates when they are hired. For this reason, the accurate input of professional experience is very important. Additional information. Applicants can attach their resume in this section. Attachments cannot exceed 1 megabyte in size. We encourage you to upload your resume as a PDF to preserve your formatting. As you progress through the teacher application, you can customize your resume when you complete your profile and apply for specific positions. And then finally, disclaimer and release statement. Read through the disclaimer and release statement to acknowledge submission of information into the application system. Your responses to these parts of the application can affect your engagement with our office. The main items required for the application are certification documentation, so proof of certification or a letter from your university stating that you are on your way to be certified by September 1st, 2026. Resume, work history, academic history, professional references. And some additional components include Common Core aligned lesson plans and personal statement. We are looking for evidence that demonstrates that you are a polished professional who has thoughtfully submitted an application to the New York City Public Schools. Again, your responses to these parts of the application can affect your engagement with our office. For example, if you identify the Bronx as a borough preference, you may be invited to online or in-person recruitment events for Bronx schools. So let's talk about availability. Select the earliest month you'd be certified and ready to start a full-time position. If you indicate that you will be available this school year, you will receive outreach about networking events and job search supports related to mid-year hiring opportunities. In the job search profile of the New York City teacher application, there are multiple questions that allow you to specify the preferences for grade levels, boroughs, and program type. Grade levels. You can select your grade level preferences in this part of the application. This preference should match your certification areas. Don't select a preference for a grade level that you aren't certified to teach. Borough preference. Indicate the locations where you would be most interested in finding a job. As you might know, the New York City Public Schools is the largest school district in the country, operating over 1,600 schools in the 5 boroughs. Therefore, understanding your preferences in terms of where you would like to work is important for our staff. The first question looks at your top 3 borough preferences. If you are only willing to accept a position in 1 or 2 boroughs, please mark those 1 or 2 boroughs in the first and second preference sections, and please mark no preference for the third borough option. You can always revisit this section of the application as often as you would like. If your circumstances change throughout the hiring season, you can adjust the preferences that you have shared previously. And there's District 75 preference. District 75 is a non-geographic district providing quality and rigorous individualized educational programs to students with significant challenges. If you are in an eligible certification area, your resume may be shared with District 75 schools in the geographic regions you have specified. You can also indicate interest in working in District 75 to help District 75 principals focus on your application. In the job search profile section of the application, you also have the option to indicate your interest in early childhood positions. If you are certified or on track to be certified to teach early childhood education, after you have selected the early childhood teaching position of interest, we encourage you to select yes to have your application made available to CBO hiring managers to maximize your early childhood job prospects. Each year, the majority of early childhood hiring occurs in New York City CBOs. And by selecting yes, you will have access to hundreds of early childhood positions. As a reminder, New York City CBOs are the only opportunity through New York City Public Schools to be a lead teacher without yet having your New York State certification. The not yet certified positions may be of interest to some of you that might not yet be certified by the start of the next school year, but are interested in getting classroom teaching experience and earning a salary now. So you can learn more at teachnycprek.org. Certified teachers working at community-based New York City CBOs and in 4410, 4201 programs now make the same starting salary as teachers working in New York City public schools, district schools, and pre-K centers. For each certification or extension you hold, you'll be asked to input the following information: certification status, certification issued, requirements completed, but certification not yet issued by New York State Education Department, certified in another state, etc. Certification type. Is it an initial certification, professional certification, professional, etc.? Subject area, grade level, certification issue date or expected issue date, your educational pathway to certification. Did you attend a traditional teacher preparation program? Did you participate in New York City Teaching Fellows, etc.? Note that you need to enter this information for each certification and extension that you hold. For each certification, okay. One of the most common reasons why teacher candidates' application get held up during the review process is that they do not upload the correct or current support documentation showing they're certified or are on track to be certified. If you hold a New York State teacher certification already, you will need to submit an electronic copy of your current and unexpired teacher certification or a screenshot of your Teach account showing your current and active New York State certification. If you are on track to receive your New York City teacher certification by September of 2026, you must submit an on-track letter completed by your college or university. You can find a sample of one of these letters by scanning this QR code. For those who are certified to teach in another state, you should begin the process to get certified in New York State. Please go to nysed.gov to begin that process. The New York State Department takes 6 to 8 months to review applications. So if you are interested in teaching at New York City Public Schools, you should begin this process as soon as possible. We do not have a required New York City Public Schools resume template, but we do provide prospective teachers with a resume template in the Teacher Application Guide. We also do encourage Graduate School of Education students to take advantage of your Career Services Center at your college or university to get support with your resume before you upload and submit your application. You'll also have the chance to upload another copy of your resume in the application, in addition to what you included in the common profile. This is a chance to ensure that your resume reflects your experience and qualifications to become a New York City Public Schools teacher. Your resume is a critical part of your first impression. Here are some tips for composing your resume. Keep in mind the audience. Consider what the hiring manager is looking for from an ideal candidate. Qualifications. List your areas of certification and relevant experience. Examples. Use action verbs and specific examples to highlight your skills and accomplishments. Review. Keep your resume clear and concise. Check for grammatical and spelling errors. And format. Apply consistent formatting and save your resume as a PDF. Bringing up the overview again. After completing the common profile and the New York City Public Schools teacher application, all applicants will then receive a confirmation email from the Office of Teacher Recruitment and Quality confirming receipt of the application. All applications will be reviewed to determine certification eligibility. Only applications that meet standards are entered into the new Teacher Finder, a database for candidates to connect with schools and access job postings and other resources. We'll talk more about the new Teacher Finder shortly. Now you can officially start your job search. Just to give you a sense of the application and hiring timeline, the application opened Monday, January 12th, and remains open through the summer. There is a lot of mid-year hiring that takes place during the early winter months, and then principals begin hiring and interviewing for the following school year. Early commitment is an initiative for candidates certified in high-need subject areas to be able to accept positions in certain districts prior to budgets being released for peak hiring. This year, we even had a stipend available for eligible high-need subject area candidates who accepted an early commitment before June 16th. Then, finally, peak hiring is June through August. Opportunity for candidates to secure a position and a $3,000 signing stipend before school budgets are released in June. Schools in select districts can make hiring commitments to candidates in high-need subject areas between March and June. And you must apply by March 5th. To be eligible for the early commitment program, you must apply by March 5th. To sum everything up, in order to teach at New York City Public Schools, you must be certified, complete the requirements and apply for New York State Teaching Certificate, submit a New York City teacher application at teachnyc.net when it opens in January. Remember, you do not have to wait for your certification in order to apply. And finally, finding your own position, doing your own outreach and networking, which we will speak to in the next section. And now I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Maurice.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Maurice Childs. I am a certified Spanish and TESOL teacher, currently in my 11th year at a middle school in the Bronx. So now we're going to talk about finding your fit. What are high need subject areas, finding the right position, and the new teacher finder. One way you can promote success in your job search is by considering districts, neighborhoods, and schools where your talents are most needed. If you are certified in certain high demand subject areas, this is especially true. If you are really determined to work here, you should also think strategically about where you are looking for a position. If you want to go where the jobs are, consider teaching positions in the Bronx and Brooklyn. This year, 52% of our new hires occur in schools in these two boroughs. It is important that you find a school that's the right fit for you. but don't exclude schools just because they are slightly out of your comfort zone or in a different borough from where you live. Almost all of our schools are easily accessible by public transportation, and we have students who need great teachers in all 5 boroughs. While we hire across all certification areas and backgrounds, we want to highlight the current hiring priorities for New York City Public Schools. These priorities can shift from year to year based on the needs of our schools. If candidates are not yet certified or candidates are considering adding an extension to your certification, these are areas where principals will be hiring and where there's a high demand for more teachers to be certified. We encourage you to consider one of these areas where teachers are in high demand. If you have an extension or another certification in one of these subject areas, it might be wise to leverage it to increase your job prospects. And on the screen, you can see the high subject area. Here are some tips for finding the right position. Research schools online, conduct outreach to schools directly, use New Teacher Finder and other job boards, network with colleagues, professors, and friends, and attend New York City Public Schools networking events. One helpful job search tool is the New Teacher Finder. Once you submit a high quality application, you will get access to the New Teacher Finder. You will be able to log in and use the New Teacher Finder in several ways. You can use it to, one, your application profile will become viewable to principals and recruiters. Two, you will be able to research for teaching positions. It's important to know that not all principals list positions in the New Teacher Finder, but many do. And this will give you a sense of what's out there. Principals may not post positions, but they could be looking and reviewing resumes to see which candidates can be a good fit for their schools. If you're certified in a high need subject area, you may receive invitations to New York City Public Schools sponsored recruitment events during the spring or summer. It's important to note not all candidates are invited to all events online or in person. Overall application quality, event capacity, and current certification needs are taken into consideration when inviting candidates to networking events. Next screen, please. Okay, thank you. Here's a screenshot of what the New Teacher Finder looks like. After selecting search for all positions on the left panel, you can filter for the position type, your preferred borough, grade level, and subject area. Principals enter their vacancies into the New Teacher Finder, and while you can express interest via the New Teacher Finder, you should also email principals directly. To learn more about specific schools, you can go to schools.nyc.gov and use the school search feature right on the homepage. You can search for schools by name, borough, or grade level to help narrow down your options. However, you'll want to remember that the tool lists every school in our system, not just those with openings. Once you identified schools that interest you, you'll need to contact them directly to inquire about available positions. Clicking on the individual school's name will take you to a page that contains a wealth of information about a school. Click on school website to go directly to their website. Click on overview to see some data about their grade levels, enrollment, district, and more. Click on school quality for direct links to school quality guides and reports for this school. And click on reports for additional information about school programs, finances, and more. As you are conducting your job search, you'll want to think about ways to help you stand out virtually. This can include creating a profile or portfolio, ensuring your cover letter and resume are strong, clear, and specific, and uploading a portfolio and or videos of demo lessons. You can upload all of this information into the Spotlight section of the New Teacher Finder. so that principals can see it when they view your application. You can also send this information to principals and hiring managers via email when conducting your outreach. Note that your demo lesson should be uploaded to an online platform like Google or Dropbox, and you can then include the link in your portfolio. With the right strategies and approaches, you can find the position that is right for you. So now we're going to talk about next steps and questions. Visit the online support center for 24/7 support with the application and hiring process. The support center contains hundreds of articles about every stage of the application and hiring process, as well as a contact us button where you can submit your question to the teacher recruitment quality help desk for personalized response. Also, please follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to stay on top of what's happening within New York City public schools. We have really active social media platforms where we regularly share updates on the application and recruitment events, as well as news about what's going on in our schools and relevant opportunities for teachers. We are very active on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Last season, we reached millions of prospective and current teachers through our posts. Follow us and tag us to join on the conversation. Check us out on YouTube to watch video recordings of all of our information sessions, teacher spotlights, and more.